So hi, I'm Josephine from Yogi Strong, and today we're going to do a brief demonstration on how to make golden milk. A lot of you may have know about golden milk already, or maybe you don't, but we're going to get started and then we'll talk about the benefits of it as it's cooking. So as you can see, I have a big stove here. I'm not using it because it's broken right now, so I'm using this wonderful induction oven which cooks very fast. I'm going to start off just putting this on a very low heat. Excuse my falling over things. And to get started, I have my wonderful spice box, and I'm just going to take some turmeric, about a quarter teaspoon to a full teaspoon of turmeric, and we're going to put this in our pot. We want to activate it up a little bit. We don't want it to burn, so I'm also going to add some water because our goal is to make a paste. And I'm not going to add too much at first. This is about a quarter cup of water, and you can use even up to a half a cup of water, but I find that the paste is best, less is more. Now the golden milk, the reason why we make this and drink this would be to help with the joints. A lot of times when you've gone to yoga festivals, you're stiff, you're sore, you've done a lot of yoga that day, so you would drink golden milk after you've had that opportunity of bringing yourself to that state of enlightenment through your postures. So I'm just going to let this warm up for a moment. Again, we don't want it too hot because we don't want to burn the turmeric, but we want to get it to start going so that way it will, there we go, it's already starting to come to a boil, so it will come to that paste. Again, this is a quarter of a teaspoon to a full teaspoon of turmeric, and I have a quarter cup of water, and I'm just going to keep stirring it. This takes a few minutes. They say it could take 5 to 8 minutes. Once it's completed and we make our paste, I'm going to put it in a little ramekin, and this can be stored in the refrigerator for 3 weeks and then in the freezer for up to 3 months. But I recommend making it fresh whenever you can because it's very simple to do, even if you just make a little bit extra to get you through the week. Now, turmeric is really great for all sorts of things. In Ayurveda, we learn about turmeric because of respiratory disorders, rheumatoid arthritis, liver disorders. We use it on skincare, wounds for diabetic healing, digestive issues, sore throats, I mean, you name it. So it's a bitter digestive, so it helps really expel phlegm or kapha from the face, and it also helps improve blood circulation, stimulates bile production in the liver through the gallbladder. Really interesting, and it's been used worldwide for a really long time, like 4,000 plus years, so I think people know what they're talking about. You can't really see it in here, but it's coming to a nice little simmer, and we're just going to keep doing this, letting it sit for a moment, just stirring occasionally now just to make sure it doesn't burn. And as it cooks and it gets down to that paste, again, we'll take it off the heat. So if you have a cold, if you're sick, you're feeling run down, your body hurts, you have aches and pains, golden milk is the one to go to. I wouldn't drink too much of it. It can have a small diuretic effect, and normally 6 to 8 ounces a day is just plenty. And I would drink it when you want to relax. So I always drink it at the end of the day because it does bring a soothing benefit to you. So if you're feeling really stressed out, you could also drink it then. Some people are really getting into these golden milk lattes, which are great, but making it at home fresh and infusing it with that good love is, I think, always beneficial. So we have a little bit more to go here. It's thickening up really nicely, so we're just gonna let it sit for another moment, and then we'll take it off the heat. We're gonna warm up some almond milk, so let me grab that. When we take it off the heat, we're gonna warm up about a cup of almond milk. And right now I'm gonna actually add some cardamom. I have cardamom pods that you can add in, but I'm just gonna put a little dash of the cardamom powder. This brings a little bit of a cooling effect in, gives a little bit more flavor, just the slightest amount. Again, less is more. Otherwise, you could put the cardamom pod in there and cook it through the whole entire time as we're cooking the turmeric. once our paste is done and we warm up our milk, you have the option to sweeten it when you take it off the heat. And while we're waiting for this to thicken a little bit, I thought I would show you some opportunities here that you could sweeten it. Normally we'd recommend that you use honey, but we also have coconut sugar, which is really great. And then recently I've purchased some jaggery, which has been really nice. I think it has more of a flavor like a date paste almost, which is really nice. All right, so this is getting nice and to a consistency that I like. So I'm gonna pull this off for a moment. It's still a little looser, but I know we're short on time, but it's getting sticky to the bottom of the pan and we don't want it to burn. So here I'm taking it off and I'm gonna go ahead and throw my almond milk in.
Can you show us the texture of the thing you're making?
So right now, let me get my little handy dandy spoon. So right now it's still kind of a liquid, and as it cools, so you can add more turmeric, definitely make more paste, but again, it was starting to burn, so I don't want it to get too thick. And you don't need a lot of turmeric. Less goes a long way. So even though we're cooking with a tablespoon of turmeric, we are only gonna use probably a 1/4 teaspoon of this mixture. So that's why you can put the rest of it away. So you're not using the whole teaspoon of turmeric. Once we've activated, and plus there's a lot still in the pan. My pan is nice and yellow inside because everything that was sticking to the bottom is in here. Let me, it's like an eggnog kind of color. So we're just gonna warm up this almond milk. And again, the benefits of turmeric are just wonderful. I know I mentioned a lot of them already, but you can Google, and I always say don't Google everything, but you can Google, there's, over the last 25 years, there's been over 3,000 papers written on turmeric, which, you know, says a lot. And more people are trying to get away from what you would consider Western medicine. So this is a great way to just help yourself to healing in a natural way. So this is, again, an induction oven, so it cooks really fast. I'm going to add some oil now. You can add almond oil, but almond oil is really hard to find in some places. So I'm using coconut oil. Plus it being hot outside, this is a great alternative. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. That's a lot of oil. So depending on your constitution, you may want to revisit the amount of oil that you're putting in there. Today I'm only going to put in a tablespoon because I've had quite a bit of oil today. So, and always use a clean utensil in your oil. I'm actually going to stop my water because it's coming to a nice temp. Sorry, my milk. And I'm going to add my turmeric. So there's about 2.5, 3 teaspoons in here. There's already some in my drink, so I'm just gonna take a 1/4 teaspoon and pour it in. I'm gonna give it a stir. And here, a lot of people wanna whisk because you can get it frothy, which is nice. So I'm just gonna whisk it up a little bit. Obviously don't do this if you have a ceramic pan or a Teflon pan, which you try not to use any Teflon. You can also put this like in a little emulsifier and get that going. And this will get it nice and frothy. I wouldn't add any sweetener until after it's completed. You want your sweetener to melt. And putting it in when it's too hot takes away some of those medicinal properties, especially if you're using the honey. The jaggery has a lot of medicinal properties as well, has a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour this out. I'm gonna try to get you to see how pretty it looks. Oh, and a little bit of foam. It looks so nice. And then we're just gonna I'm gonna use honey today. And I'm just gonna grab a little bit of honey and give it a stir. And that's it. That is golden milk. It's easy to make. It's healing, very beneficial on all matters, and it tastes really good. Some people suggest you can put a little black pepper in it to allow the absorption of the turmeric, especially if you're using whole milk or, you know, cow's milk, or you can add a little bit more cardamom, but That's nummy. So if you have a chance to make it, I would really make it tonight. So, but thank you for listening.